The dangerous and deadly blizzard of '96 turns 1,000 miles of the eastern United States into the Great White Way. In snowed-over Washington, Republican leaders and the president try again to plow through the deep budget storm. And a CBS News reality check on First Lady Hillary Clinton. What was her role in the White House travel office troubles and the Whitewater real estate deal?
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
Good evening. Blowing, snowing, and biting bitter cold. The great blizzard of '96 isn't over yet tonight, but it is already the worst such blizzard to hit the eastern United States in at least 70 years. It may be the worst snowstorm of the century, and storm-related deaths are mounting. From Kentucky to New York today, at least 2 feet of snow hit the ground, with some areas reporting 3 feet. Philadelphia had a record 30-inch snowfall with drifts everywhere much, much higher. And this 1,000-mile storm is now tracking on up to New England tonight, with Massachusetts now getting some of the worst of it, especially Boston and south, as the storm heads off Long Island on up to Cape Cod. Official states of emergency were declared in all or parts of at least 8 states up and down the eastern part of the country, as travel by plane, train, or automobile ranged from difficult to dangerous to forget it. Richard Threlkeld begins our snow blanket coverage.
The blizzard of '96 wasn't just nasty, it was a killer. At least 23 deaths were blamed on the storm, most of them in traffic accidents like this one in Kentucky. People who went driving soon wished they hadn't. This was Spartanburg, South Carolina.
I think the roads are awful. If you don't have to drive, don't get out in it. I was told not to, and I didn't listen.
Florida was no escape. There was ice on the orange crop, and nothing much was flying out of Orlando.
They're telling us we're stuck here for 2 days with children. No clothes, no changes, and nothing to sleep in. This is one hell of a vacation.
In fact, nothing much was flying at all. Major airports throughout the East Coast were closed till at least tomorrow, including Newark's.
I've been here since 9 o'clock Sunday morning, and I can't get out. No hotels, everything's booked.
Even the Concorde got stuck up in Maine. Winds whipped the sea into flood tides along the Massachusetts coast, and in Ocean City, New Jersey, too. But it was mostly the snow. Like the Energizer Bunny, the blizzard just kept going and going. In Philadelphia, they started dumping it into the Schuylkill River just to get rid of the stuff. In New Jersey, among other states, the National Guard was sent out to help stranded people.
The weather looks pretty bad, but we're still managing. That's the reason we're here.
School and government offices were mostly closed. Even the post office stopped delivering mail, but some people went to work.
We're like the postman. The rain, snow, sleet, or hail will not keep us away from our jobs.
That didn't mean people wanted to go to work. In Boston, for instance.
You ever seen anything this bad?
No, I can't believe it's so much snow.
I hate it. I would rather stay home and eat worms than deliver milk in this weather.
In New York, the stock market opened late and closed early, but it opened.
Still got to, keep the market open. Lifeblood of America.
And if you stopped to look around, it was actually kind of pretty. Atlanta looked like a Christmas card. In New York, people improvised to get from here to there. The streets of Manhattan looked like pedestrian malls, and a sort of pleasant anarchy prevailed.
The whole city's in a holiday, so it's an impromptu holiday.
It's nice to see a little nature here in New York City.
Well, there's more nature on its way. Another snowstorm's due in the east the end of this week. As they say here in the Big Apple, enough already. Richard Threlkeld, CBS News, New York.
The big bad blizzard in the east left thousands of travelers stranded elsewhere. From Chicago's O'Hare to Miami International, travel was badly snarled as flights to or from the East Coast were canceled or delayed. Here's more on airports that are closed. Richmond, Virginia, and Boston are closed indefinitely. Washington, D.C. and the New York City airports shut down until at least noon tomorrow. And Philadelphia's International Airport is hoping to reopen for flights tomorrow morning. The city of brotherly love was especially hard hit by the blizzard, with the heaviest recorded snowfall in all Philadelphia history. Emergency workers who tried to help the stranded wound up needing rescuing themselves, as we hear from Jacqueline Adams.
States of emergency continue in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. Officials report at least 3 weather-related deaths.
Philadelphia's record 30-inch snowfall did convince most drivers to stay off the roads. But emergency workers who had to be out had problems enough for everyone.
Never see a police vehicle stuck. Unbelievable.
This morning, a third of the city's fire engines and almost half of its medical units were trapped on snow-covered side streets. Officials say that so far the shortages have not jeopardized service, though engine company 45, for one, was marooned for nearly 12 hours.
Well, the tow truck came by and said that we might have to wait for a National Guard to get here to help us out.
What with a dozen or more Army vehicles, National Guardsmen did rescue engines and officers.
So I was stuck at a 12th and Morton in South Philadelphia, and the National Guard vehicle hooked me up to a winch and pulled me right out,
freeing them to help motorists who might be excused for ignoring the governor's ban on driving.
You don't speak English? All right, just forget it.
But in this district, like many, only a third of the police cruisers made it out of their parking lots.
I'm probably here till further notice until they release us.
You don't know how many shifts you're going to work?
That's about the size of it.
Some officers believe they may be in for the long haul. It could be Friday before their snow emergency ends. Jacqueline Adams, CBS News, Philadelphia.
Farther south in the nation's capital, every house was a White House, and today's act of nature had the ultimate veto power over Congress, the president, and just about everyone in sight. Bob Schieffer has the latest on Washington and the government running on empty.
No disrespect to the politicians, but when it comes to shutting down the government, no one does it better than Mother Nature. Everywhere you looked, Washington was frozen in today. In the suburbs, nursing home patients were evacuated when the roof collapsed over their cafeteria. Luckily, it happened between meals and no one was hurt. 200 people spent the night on a metro train stuck in the snow. No injuries there either, but had there been...
Right there when the people were getting off the train, there's a lawyer passing out cards. A lawyer just passing out cards.
Just before the storm hit, ironically, the president had unveiled a new plan to balance the budget, and Republicans had agreed to reopen the government for a while. But today, the legendary corridors of power were deserted, and Republicans who did straggle in were having second thoughts about the president's plan.
We were asking the president to put something on his plate, and we're glad he did. Unfortunately, what he put on his plate is a turkey.
So do you think there's a light at the end of the tunnel here?
Well, there's a tunnel. I'm not sure about the light.
And once the sun came out and the roads cleared a little, the Republicans boarded four-wheel drive vehicles convoyed to the White House and countered the president's ideas with a revised plan of their own.
After 2 hours of intense negotiating, and that means there have now been 25 hours of face-to-face budget talks, a White House spokesman said we are reaching the point where this will be resolved soon or not at all. It is not going to drag on for weeks and weeks. Bob Schieffer, CBS News, Washington.
There was more than one way to get snowed by the blizzard of '96. In a super sales pitch more than 3 weeks ago, a Manhattan car dealer took a big gamble. He promised that if more than 4 inches of snow fell in New York City on January 8th, any cars leased from him between December 22nd to January 2nd would be free. This is what it looks like outside the dealership today. January 8th. About 120 drivers took the dealer up on his offer, hit the jackpot by signing the leases. Checking the fine print, though, customers still have to pay the sales tax. Are you from Jersey? Bill Geist, a Midwesterner now living in New Jersey, knows a snow job when he sees one. That story later. But right up next, a reality check on Hillary Clinton, the White House Travel Office, and Whitewater.
Someone has been burning Black Baptist churches, nearly a dozen so far, and all of them unsolved.
They came with the true intent of burning down our church, and truly that's what they've done.
So who's burning the churches? That story tomorrow. Plus, digging out from the blizzard of '96, a look at the hardest hit on the CBS Evening News.
We leave you tonight with one person's take on this blizzard that ate the East. He's a Midwesterner who's seen a blizzard or two in his time, now transplanted and living in New Jersey, and who was trying, he says, to commute to his job in New York City today. Here's a home video with a twist from correspondent Bill Geist.
We awoke today to the sound of wind howling and futile plowing.
The blizzard of '96, now being described as one of the most powerful storms of the century.
But you know how newscasters are. They always exaggerate everything. How bad could it really be? Well, milk was sold out at the store. It was starting to look and sound pretty bad.
Honestly, this is just not the place for man nor beast.
The governor declared a state of emergency. Only essential employees were allowed on the roads. I called the governor for clarification. Am I absolutely essential? Now, the governor didn't consider me essential, but my boss did. I guess it's good to be essential. Kind of a toss-up, really. Do you go out in the blizzard of '96, or do you stay home under the sink all day defrosting water pipes? I was ill-prepared for the blizzard of the century. No one can match the hardiness and fierce determination of the American worker when threatened by his superiors. I don't see too many other people going to work today. I think the only things open are essential services like the hospital and the video store. But all they had to rent yesterday was Waterworld. So you guys came down here to get bagels on your skis or what? Just a glass drink of water?
Skied in for bagels.
But the bagel truck was delivering all day today, because bagels are essential. You need them to live.
They told everyone to take public transportation, but at the train station there didn't seem to be any. No trains, no buses. Essential employees would have to take to the roadway. Four-wheel drive, no problem. But essentially, I was stuck at home. Bill Geist, CBS News, in the driveway.
Having spent part of the day stranded on a train in a rural area, I can relate to that. Some fine Amtrak employees in Albany and Rhinebeck, New York, finally dug us out, and with the help of a special good neighbor named Mike Fairweather, that's his name, honest, they got me here in time for this broadcast. I want to thank them and everyone who was so kind and helpful along the way. Dan Rather reporting. Good night.
CBS News.
The side roads are just basically impassable as you see today. It would be impossible to put a school bus in areas like Union Hill, Joelton, Goodlettsville, and some parts of Bellevue.
The situation is improving, but it's still a long way from normal. Tonight, the mid-state battles back from the first big storm of '96.
This is the NewsChannel 5 6 o'clock report.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Chris Clark. Vicki will be in at 10 o'clock. Our top story tonight, fighting back from the first big storm of the winter. The roads are improving, but they're still not ready for buses. We'll have the school closed.